What's up, everyone? I'm Coach D. So, our government, it's just this interview that I'm going to show you with Jake Tapper and Senator Rick Scott is absolutely crazy. It kind of gives us a look into like what we will never live. And this is coming from someone. I was a Division I athlete. So I've been to parties and things like that, but never once have I gone to something and left that thinking I need to have someone sign a non-disclosure agreement. But Senator Rick Scott, who I'm not even sure looks to me to be in his 70s, normalizes people signing non-disclosure agreements because that's just what people do. Sometimes people just do that. And this video, this interview is about 2 minutes and 30 seconds long. So I'm going to have to break into it just so that YouTube doesn't flag me for copyright issues or anything like that. But just understand, these people who are in the highest parts of our government talk about non-disclosure agreements like we all do these things every day. And I want you to think about this because I don't know anyone who has ever signed a non-disclosure agreement or who has ever had someone sign a non-disclosure agreement. Maybe I'm on an island. Maybe a lot of you do. Please let me know in the comments if non-disclosure agreements are common in your circle of friends or in your circle of people or in places that you frequent.
But these anonymous sources say these things without willing to go on your show or some show and have you asked them all the questions.
Republicans have been quick to say, you can't trust these anonymous sources, all these anonymous sources. I saw Lindsey Graham saying all these anonymous sources. So as Jake Tapper points out to Rick Scott, the anonymous sources are anonymous because they were made to sign non-disclosure agreements by people like Pete Hegseth.
A point that you're making here, the woman who accuses Pete of raping her in 2017, although the police, we should note, did not charge him with any crime. That woman, Pete Hegseth, paid her money and she signed a non-disclosure agreement, so she can't come on my show to talk about it. Do you think Pete should release her from the NDA so that I can ask her the questions that you want me to?
Absolutely not. Think about it. Jake, you know,
absolutely
how many
absolutely
people,
not.
wait, Jake. We know how many people sign non-disclosures just to eliminate something.
We know how many people sign non-disclosure agreements just to eliminate something. I don't know anyone. I don't know anyone who has ever signed or been asked to sign a non-disclosure agreement to eliminate something. I don't know anyone who has ever asked someone to sign a non-disclosure agreement to eliminate something. Rick Scott is 72 years old, and he's talking about non-disclosure agreements like he's some type of Hollywood celebrity who goes to parties all the time that sees these things getting signed when he's actually talking about elected officials and nominees to Donald Trump's cabinet. Am I wrong on this? Like, am I the only person who doesn't know people who have signed or have asked people to sign non-disclosure agreements?
Not that they ever did anything wrong, and he was never
Wait,
charged with anything.
Do you want me to ask her questions, or do you not want me to ask her questions? I'm confused.
So I'm not going to suggest that somebody change a contract that they sign, but look, this is Trump's nominee. He won. A lot of people don't like the fact that he won. He won. We have to make a change as Department of Defense. We have the risk of war. The world's on fire. We've got to change how our Department of Defense is run.
Yeah, no,
he's going to do it.
I hear you, but you started this interview and saying you don't like all these anonymous accusations, and I should be able to interview these people. I'm saying, okay, shouldn't Pete Hegseth release this woman from her non-disclosure agreement so that I can do what you suggested at the top of the interview you wanted me to do?
Absolutely not. I mean, so many of these things are done for a variety of reasons.
A variety of reasons? I can only think of one. The only reason I could think that Pete Hegseth had this woman sign a non-disclosure agreement is because he doesn't want her to tell the story of him raping her. That is the only reason I could think of her signing and him wanting her to sign a non-disclosure agreement. But maybe Rick Scott knows other reasons.
But look,
well, how am I supposed to interview her and have her not be anonymous anymore if he won't release her from the non-disclosure agreement?
Well, first off, there was an investigation. He wasn't charged. All right? That's exactly what happened. The police did the investigation and he wasn't charged.
He did pay her money to be quiet, though.
So there was an investigation. He wasn't charged. So he's got, I mean, why don't people respect these people that defend our freedom? I'm proud of my father. He fought in the Second World War. He did all the combat jobs. He put his life on the line. Pete put his life on the line. Respect him.
Well, I respect veterans and soldiers all the time, but that's not really the point. I mean, millions of Americans have served in the military. That doesn't mean that they should be in charge of the military.
Yes, millions of Americans have served in the military, and we respect them for that service, but we do not respect rapists. Just because he served in the military and put his life on the line does not mean he gets to rape people without being held accountable. What the hell is Rick Scott talking about? Why did he bring up his father? This government is so damn fucked. Period.
Don't want no enemies or ops. Envy in their heart, I tell them stop. Vacation on the yacht.